What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with that analysis on this Tuesday. We're going to talk about Davion Mitchell, a lottery pick guaranteed to go within that top 10, top 15, even though you want to go top 14. I'm very impressed by him. I like a lot of the things that he does. I like the way he competes. He did have the 50% field goal percentage. I don't really believe in it when it comes to the NBA level, just because when I look at Davion Mitchell, I don't really see a guy on the current teams that can select him where he's going to come in and get a lot of minutes, unless something happens in free agency or or even at the NBA draft. I don't really see this guy being a 25, 30-minute guy in the NBA. I really just don't. And do you want to take that with a lottery pick? That's going to be a big question, but it do depend on what you're using him for, what you're interested in him for, and that might be enough for you to pick him up because this guy, he has swagger. He's not scared of the big moments. He takes some big shots. He has some go-to moves that he uses in his repertoire. And, the step back threes are amazing. You're going to need that at the NBA level, especially because he's 6 feet. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm turned off is because he plays exciting, he plays hard, but I only can really play him at point because I really don't trust his ball making, playmaking skills enough at the NBA level to where I want him to be my point guard. But he's also not tall enough to really guard the other positions realistically. And even though he has a lot of fight and even though he has a lot of, power to me too, even with his jumping ability, that gives you respect, that gives you a guy that you're gonna say, I like him. You're gonna like Davion Mitchell. And even when I watched this footage, I wasn't saying superstar. I wasn't saying franchise guy. And like I said, I wasn't even saying starter at some points. And a lot of it just has to do with the physical profile. You know, you have to play him somewhere. You have to have a lineup where he can really make a big impact. And that's just going to be the biggest question for him is how are you going to use him? How are you going to play him? What can he really do consistently outside of defend? And we've seen a lot of these defenders flatten in the league. A lot of teams want you to be able to shoot and space the floor. A lot of teams want you to be able to put the ball down and make a decision or a play or score. And he can do those things. It's just you have to run him with other playmakers or other guys that can score to really make him shine because he's not a guy that's going to get you a bucket. He's not a guy that's going to create offense for you at the NBA level at this point, and that just kind of made me kind of sour a little bit on him. Kind of like I like how he plays. I like the way he gets up in the guys. I like how he goes out there and attack. But when I'm looking at it, the fact that most point guards are taller than 6 feet in this current NBA, all of them can basically torch anybody in the league because the offensive game for point guards is through the roof offensively. And if he's not going to be able to give me the points back, which I don't believe he has that type of skill set right now, and then on top of that, if he's not going to be able to stop him and he's not going to be able to help us on the other end enough to where it warrants me playing him big minutes, then I'm kind of stuck with Davion. Like, what can I really use you for? And I can't decoy him either. I don't think that will work because you still need him to contribute some type of way. And if all he's going to give me is spot up threes, I take it. But at the same time, we need him to give us more than that if we really trying to pick him up and make him a part of our team. Because when you're taking somebody in that top 10, top 14, you're looking for somebody that has huge upside. You're looking for somebody that can really come in right away and help. And I heard a lot of people say he can be a guy this team needs. He can be a guy this team needs. The problem that I have with that logic is it's smart because he's on a rookie contract. You have him for a couple years to develop him, to get him situated, to get him where he needs to possibly be for whatever your team is going to use him for. But at the same time, a lot of these teams already have guards. A lot of these teams already have their guy at a guard position. And even if you wanted to take a guard, most people are going to take Kaminga or Jalen Suggs before Mitchell. And that's up to, whoever wants to pick them. But that's two spots that's taken already. Plus, the rest of these teams already have established point guards and backups. And don't forget, we have free agency coming where they can just sign the backup anyway. So it kind of make you wonder where he fits in, what he's really going to be. You have to like guys that wear their heart on the sleeves and try to do whatever they can to help the team win. And he does all those things. And that's a guy you want in your locker room. That's a guy you want to play with. That's a guy you want to go to war with. But at the NBA level, it is just a whole nother game defensively. It's just a whole nother game offensively. And guys like Mitchell that really don't have dominant scoring skill sets, and it will take him a while to be able to develop those things. It do kind of make you wonder which team would take him. Honestly, which team will really want to take him and really make him a huge part of their team. Now, he possibly could be that depending on what these teams do as the season continues to go on. But I don't really see him being a guy that's going to come in and impact winning. I don't see him as a guy that's going to come in and be a difference maker right away because most rookies aren't, and most rookies doesn't really have that type of impact anyway. Usually, especially where he's going to get selected at. So I'm kind of concerned about him. I like the talent. I like what he brings to the table. I like his confidence and I like his competitiveness. But he just in the wrong era to me. Maybe 2009, maybe 2000, maybe 1990. He'd be the perfect point guard, a guy that can shoot threes, a guy that can get to the basket, a guy that's going to get up in you and hand check you and stuff like that. You barely can touch people in this NBA. And every point guard, like I said, can score and create their own shot and play off the ball to a certain extent. And he's going to have to work overtime to defend these guys. Plus, if they switch, he's going to be guarding 6'4" or higher in the entire team that he's going against. And a lot of teams are picking up centers where they can punish the smallest guy on the court. And if you already playing another small guard with him, because he's going to have to play a guard position because he's only 6 feet, that leaves me kind of passing the tomato, like where what is I'm really going to put him in, what can I really utilize him. Maybe it's a guy smarter than me, maybe it's a coach that really got an eye on him and a coaching staff that knows how to bring it out of him, knows what to put him in, and knows how to best use him. But if he was in the draft 15 years ago, he'd be perfect. Just how the modern day game is, I just don't see a significant role that he can really impact right now. And even in the future, if his offensive game doesn't, well become well rounded, he could really just be stuck as a role player. The thing about it to me too with Davion is this draft has a lot of those type of guys where you can see it. You can put them here, you can put them there, you can put them around with this, and you need those type of guys. But at the same time, it's not too many players in his position that I would really want to take above him. So he probably could fall a little bit. He probably will be a guy that people will see as a steal in the draft, depending on where he goes and depending on what team selects him. But at the same time, when I look at a lot of these guys in that 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way to 20, you can say that about a lot of them. Either their skill level isn't there, their defense level ain't there, or they just don't have enough, game. They still developing and they still developing their body where they can really contribute and be a starter. And he's a guy that you probably would take over them just because you know what he is and you know what he can do and you know he can, try to do the best he can. He's going to fight. But, some of these guys in this draft, especially towards the middle where he's probably going to be at, you can say the same about a lot of them. So I probably would take him more just because I know what he is and what he's going to be. But when you start hitting that 8, 9, 10 in his draft, you can say the same thing for a lot of these guys. And he probably would be the best player to pick out of them, honestly. So I still have him going in the lottery. I still have a team probably being happy that they got a guy that cares about defense and can stroke it a little bit on offense and take smart shots. Don't force it, don't rush, and also don't mind not taking shots. But when it comes to everything else, He's going to be in a tough situation unless his offensive game just explodes, which can happen. It's a possibility. He doesn't have to do it rookie season. He can be picked up and he can be that years from now. But I'm judging him based on what I see now. I'm judging him based on what the teams are around his area, and I'm just judging him based on what he brings to the table as a player right now. And Davion has the swagger, he has the competitiveness, and those are things you want in a player. But when you look at the speed, when you look at the body, when you look at the length and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to gauge what he's really going to be and what type of role he's going to be in, especially with the teams that's going to be picking him. So I like him. I like what he's about. I like what he does, but he just in the wrong era. He just in just not his time. But somebody's gonna pick him up and probably be happy, and that's all that matters. A good fit, a player that you like. That's what you draft. That's what you go for. And he's probably more of a sure thing than other guys in the draft, and that's why you still take him in a lottery. Other than that, be back tomorrow with playoff coverage. Quinn Wade.